Hear the what?
Beep.
The beep. I'll never hear the beep. There you go. Okay, we're live. All right. I'd like to welcome everybody to the March 9th, 2022 Town of Chester Town Board meeting. Lenny, would you call the order, please?
Supervisor Valentine.
Here.
Councilman Ordinance.
Here.
Councilman Courtney.
Here.
Councilman Holdridge.
Here.
Councilwoman Smith.
Here.
Okay, would everybody please rise for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would everybody please remain standing just for a moment of silence for the people in the Ukraine who are having such a difficult time right now, and the atrocities that are taking place on the civilians and families and children. It's terrible, and if we could have a moment. Thank you. Okay. So, we're gonna go right to public comment. Can you give me that list, Larry? Sure can. Thank you. Okay, shoot.
Okay,
Shoot.
let me put my eyes on. Just have two things tonight. Well, you don't know, I'm Larry Dysinger. The intersection of Leone Lane, LaRoe, and Kings Highway. I know it's county road, but probably about 5 years ago, the county changed the traffic light there. So it used to be for Leone Lane and LaRoe, when it turned green, it was green for everyone, for both sides. But they changed it about 5 years ago. So you're not always sure if you have a green, does the other side have green, and vice versa. It all depends on how quickly you get up to the traffic light. On the Leone Lane side, if there's only one car there, it only stays green for like 8 seconds. For LaRoe, it's about 45 seconds. I tried with Anthony about 5 times to get him to help. He never got back to me. I did speak to the county. I got a headache after that. They said they did a study and this and that, and it required a change and couldn't explain why. I talked to John Riley last week about it, and he said he's gotten a lot of complaints from people about that. So I guess, again, I asked that, the town board, if they could put pressure on the county, why did they change it? Why does it need to be the way it is? It seemed like it's almost, a smack against the village and the industrial park, why it's biased only to LaRoe and not Leone Lane. I mean, that's my viewpoint. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I don't know what the reason is. It's nonsensical. But, the main thing is I view it as, a hazard, because you don't know what the opposite side has, a light, green light or not. And then the way they treat the lights is nonsensical. That's all I have for that.
Okay.
After last meeting, I sent all of you a proposed revision to the noise ordinance. I know I've gotten a couple of feedback from you, saying you've gotten it. Thank you. Hello, Al.
Hi, everybody.
I'd like to know, what your plans are, whether you have any or not yet, whether you're willing to revisit and make some revisions. The concerns I have is that the dB level that's specified there is the threshold for, causing ear damage. 85 decibels and above is your threshold for start causing, damage to, people's ears. And also the fact that, there's no distinction of what zone you're in, what zoning area you're in, or time of day. That's pretty much the sum of what the changes I'm recommending is that. So, I'd just like to know at some point, what your plans are, to do that.
Okay.
Okay?
Thanks, Larry.
Thank you.
Okay, next, Tracy Shu.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Tracy.
I just had a couple announcements. I'm following the Orange County Facebook page, and I'm glad to see that our county legislator is here tonight. Maybe he'll give some other updates from the county, but there's a couple I wanted to let you know about. The New York State Energy and Research Development Authority, everyone, it's called NYSERDA. It recently launched a net zero energy pilot program to support real estate stakeholders. The program aims to help with the development of energy performance standards and used for the design construction of net zero buildings. I only mention this because the program aims to award municipalities up to $500,000 for each of the adoption and implementation of a zero on-site greenhouse gas emissions code. The deadline is April 21st. So from what I read, it's really, they're trying to push new and existing buildings that get renovated in pursuit of this net zero. And I don't know all the code's particulars, but I would think, like with our new warehouses coming into Sugarloaf Industrial Park, I don't know what steps they're made to be more green, but I'm thinking they're talking about making sure they're built with like electric hookups and things like that. But anyway, just something to let you know. There's also, I wanted to mention Orange County Planning is working on updating two plans, the open space plan and the climate resilience plan. With the open space, with both actually, they're asking residents for feedback. With the open space plan, they had questions asking people to identify critical areas to preserve and ways that they can improve access to open space inside our villages and neighborhoods. And then the climate plan, it's really important. They're trying to study the effects of heavy rain events and extreme heat on our county resources. So they're asking residents to give feedback on things like where they know it floods, things like that. So I just encourage everyone to go on the Orange County Facebook page and take the surveys and help these plans be representative of the residents' concerns. I just like people to take those opportunities when given to participate, to take that step. The other thing upcoming, I had sent in advance of the meeting, I sent an email of the Orange County Planning's educational sessions for March in case you wanted to post them and attend. They have different topics talking about reducing community waste and where solar facilities should be sited. The most notable session is the last one on the Community Preservation Act on March 31st. This is, obviously a topic that is talked about very much here. Back in December, you had a press conference about the veto of the Blooming Grove bill. And just following up, I recall you guys called out the governor and all the interested parties that put the kibosh on the Chester and Blooming Grove bills to come to the table and talk about the real goals of the legislation, which is about protecting drinking water, farmlands, historic sites. These are things that benefit everybody that's living here and even those that are going to move here. So I'm not sure if you've had any progress with trying to set up such a meeting. But I don't know what our plans are going forward, but it certainly seems like, we're going to need more support for that to pass, not only here, but we're being looked at and impacting others. So anyway, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tracy. Okay, Tom Becker.
Hello, everybody. I'm just going to bring you some updates on what's going on with the water. One thing I have is due to lack of an updated vehicle use policy, I'd like the board to be aware that the water department employees are currently taking a town vehicle home during the night for emergency call outs. And this is for their, not for personal use in any way. It's just for if there's a call out in the middle of the night that they are taking a vehicle home. Want you to be aware of that. And if you have any issues, just let me know. Something that may not have taken place in the past, but it's taking place now.
And Tom, just to comment on that, I'll make sure that gets put in because I don't think it's in the new right of the employee handbook, so I'll get an update
Okay.
to that.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a comment. I know I might have made a comment originally on that because
Yeah, I know we discussed it. I'll look at it and just make sure.
we also had to look at Moodna Basin because Moodna Basin employees are actually town of Monroe employees, but the vehicles are town of Chester vehicles. So that was something that was.
I'll follow up
discussed.
just to make sure the language is right.
Thank you, Bob. I also met with Tom Cusack last week in relationship to the Sugarloaf Water District and the improvements we could try to do over there. We came up with 3 possibilities. One would be to extend the casing up deeper on the existing well with the E. coli to try to seal off the E. coli from getting into the well. Tom Cusack actually participated in the drilling of that well, or did some of the work on that. So he didn't get into the folder yet, but he said he found the breakdown on what's the way that well was laid out and how much casing and everything is there, but he just didn't get back to me on that yet. A second option could be installing a UV light in the plant, which would keep it'd be a redundancy on the chlorination, but it would, satisfy, again, the county. It would make that water safer to drink and be more usable the way it was. We could also develop another on-site well. Big obstacle on that is a lot of the property there is wetland and protected wetlands. So we're going to look at cost effectiveness of each of those three things, and we'll try to see what's going to be best to come up with an adequate source, an extra adequate source of supply for that place. I also met with Al last week in regards to the Walton Lake Estates and how we should proceed with that. And we did this week receive the water quality on the well that we drilled. So I guess you're gonna approve hopefully the well the well drilling tonight. From that point, once we get the other well drilled, we'll have to do 72-hour pump test on each of those wells. I thought we could possibly do that together, but it seems like we're gonna have to do them independently because of how close they are. After that, we'll have to, I talked to Al too, we'll have to start some form of engineering on this project because we'll have to look at putting up in a building. We're going to be looking at costs. We're going to have to do some bonding possibly to keep moving. And if we get some type of engineering going, we could, once we get a report together, we can look for more grant money. So that's going to be important to how we proceed with this project. To get an actual permit from DEC, I know they're very backed up. They haven't even looked at the Greens of Chester's application yet, and that's been in for quite a few months. So it's just, this is going to be a long, drawn-out process.
I think we discussed it, but now maybe you would know. But if we're going to build that type of building, would it be more cost-effective to have a modular style type built there as opposed to doing?
It very well could be.
Is that something we could look at when we get to that point?
Right.
Yeah.
We'll look at that, and we look at it. It's a little remote area, so sometimes you have to be concerned with a little vandalism sometimes. So they usually build those things with, split face block just for that purpose. But, looking at the area, I've walked down there a couple of times. I've really never seen any indication, a couple of, ATVs kind of thing, but, it could be a modular unit.
If long as
We'll have to look at
to your point
different-
though with the vandalism. I mean, I don't want to save $10,000 and then 10 years down the road we spend 20 in repairs
It'd be more,
because of
a block
vandalism.
building is.
No, I just as an example.
Very, very.
Yeah, we'll look at multiple options, and we also got to look at the size of the building because we may, depending on the final numbers that we get on the iron and manganese, we may want to move the filters from the other plant over into here. So
And
it's
have
all
a little
gonna,
turbidity in it too, so
yeah.
we may need to upgrade filters a little bit.
So
And
May we
maybe
have-
a little storage, little pump inside, or the tank inside.
yeah, I think the filters are probably only about 12, 13 years old, possibly. I helped Billy install them back when he had the newest filters go in. So I don't see any reason why we couldn't move them into the new plant because they're not going to be, used at the old plant anymore. And there's no way without running piping, probably almost a mile of piping to get to that plant from the well. I don't think it's advantageous to do that. But that's another option we can look at also.
All right, well, we'll put them all on the table and see what.
And thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, we have a gentleman for a recognition. Anthony?
I have public comment online.
Oh, yeah, public comment. Okay. What do we have?
I have Lydia Quadros. She would like to know if the pump for the Sugarloaf Water District well was replaced.
Yeah,
Is
2 weeks
there
ago,
a
right?
plan to replace the contaminated well? And is the primary well in Sugarloaf Water District back in use?
It was only out for about 3 days.
Yeah. Yes, it's back in use. What else do we have?
Was it replaced?
Yes,
Pump replaced?
yes, everything's replaced.
And is there a plan to replace the contaminated well?
We just discussed that.
Okay, so we're good. Okay,
That's it?
that's all I have.
All right, so now we have citizen recognition. Anthony, you here, Anthony?
Yeah.
You are. Why don't you step on up? So Anthony, I guess Brandon did some Sherlock Holmes and found out that you're the guy who picked up the mattresses on
Yeah.
LaRue Road. Is that something you do regularly? You go around and find mattresses?
I'm a landlord though, and
Uh-huh.
I'm moving things all the time.
Yeah.
Cleaning apartments, so I was just joined the online group for Chester.
Uh-huh.
And I thought I'd do my civil duty.
That's awesome. So let me just say here on behalf of the board, so let it be known to all residents that this certificate has been presented to Anthony Guastella
That's good.
for his good deed to the Chester community. Presented this 9th day of March in 2022, Town of Chester Town Board, Robert Valentine Supervisor.
Thank you.
We don't want anybody that does a good deed in Chester to go unrecognized.
Well, that's
Okay?
nice.
Thank you
very
for your service. Okay, now we got some regular business here. Motion to pay bills.
I'll make the motion to pay the bills.
We have a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, we need to accept the minutes of 2:23.
I'll make the motion to accept the minutes to 2:23.
I'll second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, now we have a quick presentation by Planning Board Chairman Don Sirota. He's going to give us an update on the Oakwoods Subdivision Trail and open space. Some things have transpired, I guess, and we want everybody to be aware.
So hopefully this is the last time I'll bother you.
Yeah.
And that. Linda, you did pass out the yellow, the sheets and that. So I got an email from the trail master about a week ago and that. So a question he had asked me, and if you look at your sheets there, I yellowed a piece to where it comes out to the, where the town would be taking the open space, but it didn't go any further. In the past, we were showing a line going across that wetland on the Monroe border there. So he asked me, would the town have any problem where they would just go anywhere in the open space? So he probably, my gut guess is what he would do is he would turn right when he got into the open space. I can't speak for them exactly, hasn't aligned it, and would go across that intermittent stream there and then eventually marry up onto the Monroe piece, which is up in the upper left-hand corner of that. So that was one question, so we could finalize the map. I spoke to Bob a little bit about it. I think I spoke to Bob. I spoke to Brandon about it. I don't know if the town had any issue with, so I don't know how the easements, Scott would have to help us on the easements a little bit. Would they get an easement to the whole?
I would say the easement would be on the
15.
whole conservation area.
Yeah, whatever, whatever. So that was the question that he'd asked me. It would make their life a lot easier. He said he understood and I can forward that email to the town board. He understood why during the development area, why it had to be that kind of convoluted over the way it is. But he just asked if we could go ahead and allow him to come through the open space there, so.
I don't have a problem. Anybody
I
on
don't
the
have
board
a
have a
problem
problem
with
with
I don't know.
No.
that? No? Okay.
All right, so second thing was, I just want to tell you that we had a public hearing the other night for the Oakwoods project and one of the Monroe residents had asked us if there was any way on the Monroe piece. Right now, we have a 50-foot by around 125 feet piece that would be dedicated to Town of Chester, is the one you would ask for to Tony Cardone, and that he asked if that could be possibly widened at all. We haven't talked too much about it on the planning board, just got hit with the other night, but he was worried a little bit about his privacy there. So he's saying, since if you look at the map on the Monroe side, there's a big chunk of open space there. So if you went to 75 feet or something like that, it probably wouldn't have any kind of an effect. That's really going to be up to Monroe if they wanted to grant that, but that was his request. I thought it was reasonable. The board hasn't even discussed it yet, but that will be a discussion by the board.
Okay.
And I think that would be a reasonable thing if we could. I don't think the town really cares if they want to give us 75 feet instead of 50 feet. So that would be a good thing. And then the only last thing I wanted to say was because we're proceeding down the line now on this, this subdivision. But this is what is going to become what they call a realty subdivision. A realty subdivision means any lots, any kind of a major subdivision, since it's 5 or more lots, it's 6 lots, it has to go to the Orange County Health Department. So once they do get a, Bob knows, and I think I spoke to Brandon about it, I spoke to Bob about it too, and once they do get a preliminary approval on the project, this has to go off to Orange County, and literally, we're probably talking a year or more. So if it takes more months more for us to do this, then they're gonna talk another year after that, so that's probably the last time I'll be bothering anybody here, because it's gonna be a long time before we're gonna get them coming back to us. Now, the Monroe piece, we have no control in Chester here, except to talk to them at times. I do stay in touch with Ashley, their lawyer, but if that goes on for 6 months, and then it takes a year to go to the realty subdivision, it could be a year and 6 months there and that, so, and it's typically about a year's process for them to get through that. There's well testing, septic testing, all kinds of stuff they have to come up with. So, so we may not be discussing this for a long time down the road. So, all right, thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, next item on the list is our accountant for the town, Phil Minio, has prepared with Tanya, our bookkeeper. Together, they've completed our updated annual financial report, which we have to send in to be in compliance with the New York State Comptroller's Office.
February 24th.
What's that?
It was submitted February 24th.
Okay, so it was submitted on the 24th. We have to accept this audit. This is for the year ending 2021. As I've mentioned a couple times, this board has done a great job being fiscally responsible. Our fund balances are really strong. And I just need to get an okay.
I'll make the motion to accept the annual financial report from the New York State, for the New York State Comptroller.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion on the matter? Okay, before we vote, I'll just let you guys know what some of the fund balances are. So our A fund, which is the town of Chester as a whole, 1,300,000. Our B fund, which is the town outside of the village, 498,000. Our DA fund, 370,000. Our DB fund, 311. As you can see, the totals are well over $2 million on our reserves. So from 3 years ago, when we had about 200 grand, we're doing pretty good. Things are working out. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, we have to accept the IMA. I have to sign an IMA for Stop DWI. Okay, annual thing we do. IMA for 2022, Stop DWI, regular enforcement overtime. Attaches a memo of the copy of the 6-page municipal agreement for the period of 3/12/22 to 1/11/23 for reimbursement of man hours dedicated to enforcement campaigns during applicable campaign periods. The IMA reflects the assignment of up to $4,514 to be used by town police department during first enforcement period listed on Schedule A1 and reimbursed by the county, with award notifications for the second and third periods to follow later in the year. To accept this agreement, board will need to pass a resolution authorizing someone to sign the agreement. Okay. So do we have a motion to allow me to sign this IMA with the county?
I'll make the motion allowing the supervisor to sign the IMA contract.
Seconded.
Second, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, next. Okay, a while back, we had discussed the Trout Brook Firehouse was looking to do a tie into the sewer main when they're building a new building. So we had some questions about that. Scott, you had mentioned some questions about it being, maybe it was in Monroe or not. So, but I did clarify with Moodna. I spoke with Brian Smith at length on it. So there's a force main that the town of Chester owns, and it comes from Lake Hill Farms and down Lakes Road. So he said that it would be up to the town of Chester to grant, the hookup to that line. That is a forced main, so the firehouse is going to have to do some, pretty extensive engineering with pump station and whatnot so they can tie in, but he will work with them to get that done. So at this time, I need to see if the town board here would allow the Chester Fire District a sewer connection in the, in Moodna, and that would be like under an outside user agreement.
Didn't we already do something for this?
Yes, you did agree,
Right.
subject to,
Okay. Okay.
subject to movement and legal.
Okay.
But this request is specifically asking for allocation from the town.
Oh, for the amount.
Yes,
It's
so
not-
that it would be with the
Okay.
town of Chester, not Monroe.
Correct, okay. Let
Okay,
me see
that's
that one.
their, more recent request.
So they have a number on here.
No.
They don't. Yeah, yeah.
You know,
This one doesn't
that is
really,
the more recent one. Yeah.
this one doesn't really say much either on it.
No, it's just,
Very vague. Yeah.
just specifying
Yeah.
the allocation to be with the
All
town
right, so let's
of
just table
Chester.
this and I'll speak to them and find out what the flow, if they need us to give them a guaranteed flow rate or something like that. I'll check this out. And we have no problem with the flows for them, so we still have plenty of capacity. Okay, we're gonna table that one. Okay, well drilling quotes. So we have 3 quotes that we got from 3 different, we got Turnbull, Claverack, and what was the other one? Fry well drilling, yep. It looks like Claverack, $1,200. That's for drilling the another well at Walton Lake. So I need a authorization to sign the proposal.
I'll make the motion to sign the proposal from Claverack for the well drilling.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, well drilling. DOT letter. So, it looks like the DOT letter is for the bridge in Chester. Brandon is gonna give himself a shot at it.
Yes.
We're putting him on the line now. He's gonna get a shot at it. We've all done it, so now it's his turn. So, do you want to give us an overview of your letter, Brandon?
Yeah, basically it just kind of outlines our grievances with the 17M, and Kings Highway intersection bridge. It's an old story. Everybody knows it. The bridge is terrible. I've been in contact, like I've said, at multiple town board meetings in the past with Eric Foster, who is the regional structures engineer. And all he could do was promise me that they were going to pave over it in the spring, which, from what I understand, has been promised in the past. So I wanted to make it extra clear that we aren't going to let this go by writing this letter. And then on top of that, I spoke with the DOT planning department, Bob Mannix, about when the bridge is actually going to get replaced, because paving over it isn't a long-term solution. We needed the whole bridge ripped up and replaced. So, I outlined it on the 3rd paragraph here. What he told me about the time frame, and 2024, and then 2025, and then finally being completed in 2026. We've been waiting for this for far too long. So, I said it in the letter how this is unacceptable to us, and we're hoping that anything be done to move that time frame up, and to utilize whatever money we're getting from the recent federal infrastructure bill that was passed a couple months ago to do this, because this bridge is long overdue. The only thing is, I do have before we send this out, there's a typo in the 3rd paragraph at the very last sentence. I have "we am," and it's supposed to be "we are." So,
Your email is wrong too, I think.
yes.
Your
Wait,
email's supposed to be Holdridge, I think it's supposed to be. You spelled out your name wrong, I think.
did I? No, it's oh, is it supposed to be Holdridge? Yeah,
Yes.
you're right. Yeah, so there are two typos.
Okay. So
Two
we'll just
typos.
put that on town letterhead and we'll get it sent out. Anybody have a problem with that?
No.
Okay.
And just to expand on that, I'm also going to set up to meet with Mike Martucci, Senator Martucci. And I want to just go over all of these issues with him as well. So maybe, if Senator Skoufis, hopefully helping lead the charge, we can get Senator Martucci involved and maybe we can get this expanded further. Because I believe they're paving from Harriman to the Chester Bridge.
Right.
Yes,
Oh,
Well,
to the Chester Bridge.
Yes.
all of 17.
Yes, but it stops at Chester, and that's what I think the village is probably gonna get loud, because that road is terrible going into the
All the way
village.
through is horrible.
So, I mean, I don't know why it would stop there, it should go all the way to Goshen.
Stop there.
Bob, when are they supposed to do the,
I think in the spring.
it's like riding through a landmine there.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you're up to education requests. What do we have, Linda? No kidding, we're getting back to education. Oh, thanks. Okay, our first education request from Chief Dan Dollinger. I'd like to send Administrative Sergeant Vitale to the Accreditation Program Manager Training Workshop for agencies that are interested in participating in the New York State Law Enforcement Accreditation Program. Training is designed primarily for new agency program managers and others who will have a lead role in accreditation of their agency. Chief law enforcement officers and/or designated command staff are strongly encouraged to attend to understand the process. Instruction will focus on the day-to-day tasks that will lead to accreditation and prove basic information on maintaining the status. Okay. Course will be held in Dutchess County on March 30th. There's no fee. We have a motion to send Sergeant Vitale to training.
I'll make the motion to send Sergeant Vitale to training.
Seconded.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Okay, second one from Chief Dan Dollinger. I'd like to send Officer Santosky Wright to Recognizing the Cannabis Impaired Motorist Training, sponsored by New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services. This course builds off the officer's skills learned in the National Highway Safety Administration's DWI detection and standardized field sobriety testing course, and will include a review of 3 standardized field sobriety tests, contemporary cannabis issues, and differences between recreational and medical cannabis and hemp, along with introducing officers to 3 additional tests on how to properly administer them and support their observation of cannabis impairment. I would also like to attend the course myself, where I have the opportunity to become an instructor on this topic after attending the course because of other instructor certificates that I actively hold. It'll be held in Goshen on March 29th, and there's no fee for the course. Okay, so we have okay to send Officer Santosky Wright and the chief off to the class.
I'll make the motion to send Officer Santowski and the chief to the class for cannabis.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
I'm sure part of that, they're gonna ask you to look for like potato chips and stuff like that in the car. Yeah. That's an open bag of potato chips there. Okay. Okay, so this is from Tanya. Education request. The New York Government Finance Officers Association offers many educational programs in core function areas of government financial management, including accounting, auditing, budgeting, and cash and debt management, as well as broader management areas such as human resources, labor negotiations, and internal controls. As all of these areas of content are specific to my job function, I would respectfully request the opportunity to become a member of the NYGFOA. First-time members are offered a discount for yearly membership at the rate of $90 per year. The rate allows access to multiple of free on-demand webinars, publications, and advanced education opportunities throughout the year. Okay, so do we have an okay to let Tanya sign up with the New York Government Financiers Officers Association?
I'll make the motion to send or have Tanya sign up for the Association for what's finance
Training. yeah.
training.
It's $90.
Okay.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay. Only education?
One more.
Oh, one more.
Ooh, getting educated this time.
Okay, education request for Tom Becker. Hudson Valley Waterworks Conference, November seminar and trade show, agenda and registration form, Thursday, April 14th, 2022. The water operators and wastewater operators, the cost is $40. Locations in town of Walco Golf Club, 40 Sands Road, Middletown. Do we have a motion to send Tom for the training?
I'll make
Go ahead.
I'll make the motion for send Tom for training.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. That's it for education?
That's it.
I do have something that came up, I got reminded of before the meeting, that maybe I can throw that in right now. As you know, everybody knows, every year Richard Logothetis puts on his Thursday night concert series in Sugarloaf.
I
And,
do have that.
what's that?
I do have that.
Oh, do you?
I thought it was gonna come up later.
Oh, later? Okay.
We'll have other-
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
I just got reminded of it.
No
So
problem.
I'm sure there's no issue, but we always like to help Rich out and get his project going. He does a great deal of stuff for the community, in Sugarloaf especially.
So he's just
So can we
applying.
approve Richard's concert series for his Thursday night concert series?
Motion to approve the concert series for Thursday.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Temporary
Sample
assembly
permit.
permit is what you're
Oh,
approving.
yeah.
Is that what you want to approve?
Yes, motion. Yep.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay.
Hey, Bob, can we have the, sorry to go back to this, the DOT letter sent also to Skoufis, Schmidt, and
Yeah.
Mike Martucci?
You just give me an email when you want it to go, and we'll send it to everybody.
Sounds good.
Okay. Okay, reports. So we have Fusco Engineering, development report, Greens of Chester, reminded project manager to get mapping for Transportation Corporation so we could send to the county. The SWIP systems are working well. Capelli Sports, Primo Sports, the SWIP is working well. Chester Pack, specifications for ABA completed and working on plans. Walton Lake Water District met with Tom Becker to review water quality and determine treatment and plans to proceed forward. Also discuss Sugarloaf Water District improvements and community development requesting for projects that are coming up and need to discuss projects. How Fusco. Okay. What reports you have there, Linda?
PD?
PD, okay.
Take your pick.
Okay, from the chief, police report. Town of Chester Police Department remained active in the community. We continue to take a proactive stance toward detecting crime and enforcing the laws while maintaining our overall objective community commitment. In February, the police department responded to 224 calls for service. Officers patrolled 13,309 miles during the month. Breakdown of activity, criminal activity, 10 charges, suspenders, driver's licenses, 1 criminal contempt, 1 driving while intoxicated, 1 taken into custody for active warrant, non-criminal, 21 medical calls, 17 residential, commercial, automatic alarms, 12 animal complaints, 7 reports of suspicious conditions, 6 domestic disputes, 2 motor vehicle crashes with injuries, 6 without injuries, and 3 involving deer. Community policing, officers completed 30 house security checks and 1,201 business security checks. Sergeant Dugan and Bird and Weinstein and Stack continue to remain available for child passenger safety seat checks and installations. Officer Santoski Wright reached out to Sugarloaf Chamber of Commerce regarding the possibility of the spring festival. No information has yet been received. Officer Chambers and Theron continue visiting stores and meeting with businesses in the town to update our contact info as needed. Officer Dunlop maintained contact with representative from the Belleville Bruderhof community. Chief Dollinger attended the Belleville Bruderhof's upper school presentation of Annie Jr. on February 23rd, and Chief Dollinger attended the Curious Joel EMS meeting and liaison with their members on February 23rd at their main headquarters in Palm Tree. There's a lot more on there. I'm not gonna keep reading. The animal one too?
No,
No, okay.
come here.
Okay, so we have now from Kristen Palmer, Parks Report. Save the date, Town of Chester fireworks, Saturday, July 9th, with a rain date of July 10th. Show is with fireworks extravaganza. Communication with all emergency services, PD, fire department, and EMS has been established. Bands booked, food trucks booked. Working on activity before fireworks and during the music. Secured donations from Suburban Propane for the fireworks and Capelli Sports for the musical entertainment. Richard Logathetis has again generously donated the use of his stage and sound engineer, and the Bruderhof community is donating generators and volunteers. Ongoing meetings with Spots to tailor online scheduling program for the parks. Beginning talks with Little League for the 2022 season. Opening day is slated for 4/9. Working on Town of Chester PBA on Community Day, June 4th at the Chester Commons. Planning for parks reopening in April. Ordering supplies, bringing back seasonal employees, going over projects that will take priority when weather allows. Working in conjunction with Walter and Michelle in all departments functions, from shows at the PAC and programs and bus trips for recreation. Maintenance and parks, snow removal at town buildings, weekly setup at Senior Rec Center, annual maintenance of power equipment, mowers and tractors, weekly garbage removal at 4 town parks, upgrading and organizing the garage at Knapp's View. Respond to maintenance requests from town departments. Dispatched through Kristen. Okay, that report. Building department report. Okay. Permits issued 34, COs and certificate of compliance is issued 19, municipal searches 6. Letters went out to 13 property owners conducting short-term rentals. All town board members have received copies of the draft proposed local law for short-term rentals. Town attorney has reviewed and put in proper format, hoping we can introduce soon. There are 2 active court cases and possibly a 3rd coming up. An ad was placed regarding a part-time inspector. Today, I have not received any responses or interests. We are in the process of incorporating a planning zoning department in the building department. For the time being, it will be reconfigure the current space, computers, phones, etc., to be able to bring Melissa downstairs. Letters will start going out with the fire inspections around May. 1203 report is due April 1st, so we'll be done in the next 2 weeks. Okay, happenings at the senior center. 2 casino trips scheduled. 319 Mohegan Sun, 321 Wind Creek. Mohegan Sun has open seats and 3 seats remain for Wind Creek. Villa Roma on 5/3/22 Jersey Boys Tribute, completely full at present. Seeing if Villa Roma can accommodate more people, have second bus reserved if necessary. Niagara Falls 5/31 through 6/4, 9 seats remaining. Cruckers 7/14/22, sign up will begin soon, and working on future trips. Town events, youth paint event 3/10/22 at Senior Center. We had a scheduled for an adult senior paint event, seen no signups. We'll try again for something in April or May. Senior events, new program added for once a month senior arts and crafts. First class is Bunny Wreath on Tuesday, 4/5/22, 1 to 3, cost for supplies only. Senior Casino Night, 4 to 9 at the Sugarloaf Performing Arts Center. Table play with funny money, prizes, food, and music. Valet parking will be available. Planning future senior activities and events of the year. Recreation, new yoga instructor started on 3/8/22 for classes on Tuesdays, 11:30 to 12:30. First class was well attended with 7 people. Received inquiries for an evening class, instructor looking for availability. New program added music and movement, 3/4/22, and currently run first and third Fridays of the month, 10 to 11. First class, well attended with 10 people. I believe the program will grow, and chatter has already started. Working with children's events for the year, examining all possibilities, working events at the Sugarloaf Performing Arts Center as needed. Okay. That's it on reports?
It's in our reports, but you have a couple of other items. I don't know
Okay,
if you
what do you
want
have?
to Take care of it now.
Might as
or
well,
you
we're
wanna do it
here,
later.
something we can do.
So you have, for the labor associated with the new audio visual
Okay.
equipment.
I thought we did this already, didn't we?
You did
Oh.
the equipment only.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, so, so this is for the installation of the live stream equipment. It's gonna bring us up to the 21st century, I guess. So we have quotes, 3 quotes, Diamond Grade Media, 6648, Electric City Pictures, 7146, and Fresh Bean LLC, 7450. All the quotes are in, and the low bidder's Diamond Grade Media at 6648. So do we have a motion to approve 6648 for the installation?
I'll make that motion to approve 6648 for the installation from Diamond Great Media.
Seconded.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay.
Also, the court received a grant. You want
Okay.
to announce that?
All right, so we are pleased to advise that Chestertown Court has been awarded a grant under the 2021-22 Cycle of Justice Court Assistance Program. Excuse me. The Chestertown Court is one of 302 courts receiving the funding this year. Details regarding your award are set forth in closed 2021 Justice Court Award Reconciliation. So we got approved for a walkthrough metal detector, $43.95. A desk, $854, and security calibration of a device, $149. $53.98.99. That's good news.
Yep.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
Definitely.
Okay, that's all the other stuff you have on there?
I mean, you have one other announcement here we received concerning possible change to the 845 area code.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
So I guess from what I read on this, the 845 area code is out of numbers. It's out of numbers, and they're going to have to do something about
So that means we're going to get the change.
it.
Well, I think they're gonna, well, I would think not. They would probably add another area code.
Yeah, they got it. Yeah.
Also, there's the report. I don't know if you maybe you can get it under for the pack. You can just
Excuse me?
scroll on that.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, so, okay, from Walter, we got a report on the pack. We just had the first big show of the year, big band of brothers, great show that people enjoyed. Coming up in the month of March, April is March 12th, The Presents, Led Zeppelin Experience. March 13th, Devin Allman and Samantha Fish. March 25th and 26th, Matilda, performed by the Warwick Dance Studio. March 31st, Rocking Dueling Pianos at the Live Lounge in the Pavilion. April 1st, Soul Town to Motown with the Fabulous Soul Cruisers. April 2nd, Jim Kirk and Conviction, all 80s music. April 14th, Rock Dueling Pianos in the Live Lounge at the Pavilion. April 6th, 13th, 20th, and 27th, Actors Ensemble Workshop through a grant we received with Paul Ellis. If you're interested in the Actors Workshop, you could contact Paul Ellis at 845-978-1776. Working on fall concert series to start after the downtown series of On the Lawn concert series. The town free concert series will pick up after the On the Lawn series finishes on Thursdays. Met with Al Fusco and engineers about grant to pave front parking lot. Lot should be paved as soon as weather's better. You can also rent the pavilion for your next party. Please call the Sugarloaf Pack for details at 845-610-3485. Okay. Thanks, Bob. Okay. Nothing else in your file, Linda?
No, but if you would, just going back to Richard Logothetis' request, if you would read the dates and the times
Okay, let's do that.
for
Yep.
that as well.
Okay, so for Rich's temporary assembly permit for the shows on Thursday nights, the dates are Thursdays, July 7th to September 1st. Audience arrives starting at 5:30 p.m. Concert starts at 6:30 and end at 8:45. All right, so now we need to go into executive session to discuss some labor contract.
Can I just, I wanted to ask Richard a couple questions. Number one, do you have any comments about the decibel readings for the noise ordinance? Do you have any input on that or?
Not really.
No? Okay.
We try to keep our level relatively low. We have very directional speakers in terms of what we do. But I don't, I haven't really taken any reading.
No, I mean overall about the noise ordinance or anything like that.
I haven't seen what you're working on. First, I know there was work being done a couple of years ago. I haven't heard that there was anything.
Okay.
Especially being done. I'd be happy to look at it. But
Yes.
Decibel level's actually at 85 right now.
the maximum level?
Yeah, well, that would basically 85 would be a violation. Anything above 85 or above would be a violation. Is that too high of a number or?
No, it's not too high a number, but it depends on where it is. I mean, if you're seeing the street at 85 decibels is loud, but, you know, you're talking about a property line, I think there has to be some qualifications to do that. So if you have to look at it, you wish you could.
Okay. The other question, some people have kind of said that, we're putting on there's too many bands or concerts at the PAC. Could you just give us a little input what it takes to bring a Broadway show? I mean, what kind of expense that would be to the town?
Okay. You know, you operate the theater differently than we operate.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Broadway shows are very expensive, and you basically buy them on speculation. You say, oh, this is something I believe will sell. You budget for it, and hopefully you sell it. But it has a very, very, very short shelf life. If it didn't sell on Thursday, and the show's on Thursday, Saturday is stale. And it's gone. So it's running a theater, it usually requires a lot of performing arts center, usually requires receiving a substantial amount of money in grants and other income. The theater, when it was turned over to my board of directors, at the time we did that, was the shows were paying for themselves, but we had to use rentals of the theater, the pavilion, and everything else, which paid the light bill. And I also put money into it to keep it running.
But you'd really have to have a full theater in order to have a success, to make any kind of money.
You based it on different philosophies. It was a matter of learning what you're doing. And, we might say, this show here, I need to break even at 50%. That one, I'm more interested, I'm not gonna break even at 50%, I'm gonna break even at 80%. But you're talking a much higher ticket price. And so the other 20%, if you fill it out, you make a lot of money. I found in typical, the cheaper the show, the less money you make. The bigger risk you took, the potential was much higher. But I, as an individual, could take a risk. As a producer, I can take a risk. Obviously, you can't.
Right. Right.
So it's a long process, but I ran it for 20 years, and I've been in the business all my life. So it was understanding and taking risks.
Okay, thank you.
Walt, why don't you explain about what happens with the theater and the way we run it? So.
What had happened was there was a few comments made that people don't like what shows are being presented at the PAC. They're not interested in it. And what they need to know, and we said this right from the beginning, was we were not gonna use taxpayers' money to fund the shows and then take the risk. We rent the theater out to promoters who take that risk, and they decide who they're taking that risk on. If it doesn't meet up with what somebody wants to see, we can't help that. So what's there is what the promoters bring, not what the town of Chester is deciding goes in there.
Yeah.
Right.
And just to elaborate a little bit more, really what he's saying, I had people say, well, I don't like what you do in the shows. Well, what kind of shows do you like? oh, I like such and such. Well, we had such and such and such. Well, I didn't see that. Well, we advertised it. But you know, you ask them questions and they turn around and say,
Didn't know.
I didn't know, or I didn't know you had that. And the same thing is, I had one person who lived in Creamery Pond Road, came to see, was looking at a show we were doing, and then they found out this is the Vienna Boys Choir, which is an internationally known music group. It was also being presented down in New Jersey, in Newark. Well, he drove to Newark because it couldn't have possibly been as good here in Sugarloaf or Chester
Okay.
as in Newark. But it was a boy.
Right.
You know, you're gonna get this.
Well, I just wanted a little clarification, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion to go into executive session.
I'll make the motion to go into executive session.
Okay, second,
I'll second.
favor?
Aye.
Okay, let's go.
I was gonna say.
All right. Right, guys, calm down.
She said,
Was the one with the flood on the basement, on the catch basin? On my desk. Actually, it was a catch basin in the road.
Well, is it in the road? Is it in the
It's in the
road?
driveway.
Because I asked Kristen, who said they went out there. So she saw it. Now she said, oh, and then so we can talk about it. But Kristen didn't tell me whether it was in the park or in the street.
Yes, I want to know.
It's in the park. Yeah, the back
I know that there's all the streets down there are village roads.
Yes.
So if it's 10 feet off the road, it's still in the village right away.
Right, but if it's not, then it's part of the park.
Then we don't know. All right, motion to come out of exec.
I'll make the motion to come out of executive session.
Okay, second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're back.
Okay.
What do we have? Do we have anything left? No, okay. We have our county legislator here. Glenn Ellers, he wants to give us a little update on some county stuff. So this is like so odd to have our county person here to give us an update. I mean,
Try to make it your first one. First of all, Mr. Valentine, your project with the road in Sugarloaf is moving forward.
Okay.
Talking back and forth. You and I have a meeting next week set up with Assistant County Executive Harry Poor and the Orange County Highway Commissioner. And as long as everything with that goes well, we will be on the committee, Physical Services Committee for Monday, March 28th at 3:30 PM, and that'll be a live meeting. Anybody can zoom in.
Okay, awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
Hopefully that goes forward. Next thing is sales tax. So county sales tax, again this year for the first quarter is approximately 20% higher than it was last year. Wow. Which is 20% higher than the year before.
Yeah.
So money will be coming back to the town of Chester.
I guess it's all because of Amazon, huh?
It is. It really is. A couple other things, in Chester first, sewer district number 1. I don't know how many residents in the town are actually part of that district. I know the whole village, right? Most of the village and the town. So that district, we are going to be moving forward with a 3 million gallon per day expansion.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is the price. They're looking at $50 million. And that's going to fall on the users of that district. I'm going to try to get to the village of Chester when I talk to them because it's a huge expense. Also with that district, Chester, I believe, is pumping air in water, whereas Blooming Grove is not currently doing that.
Right.
So they're doing odor testing. Next month, there's a portable unit coming in for Blooming Grove. We're going to shut off Chester, put the air to Blooming Groves and check the.
See what they're doing.
Yeah,
Well, Blooming Grove doesn't
the
use-
Airport Park in Monroe.
Yeah,
Right.
Blooming Grove they don't use an ozonator. They do drip chlorine.
Yeah.
So they are
By the time
bringing
it
in a
gets there, it
portable
stinks,
to
yeah.
test it. So they believe the odor is coming from Blooming Grove. They're going to
Yeah.
prove that, and then if that is the case, they will put in the same system that Chester has.
Okay.
At their expense. Next thing on the county is moving ahead with the medical examiner's office building, the new facility. Right now they're operating out of a sort of a double wide trailer, containers, the new facility paid for with federal money to the tune of approximately $20 million as of now. That's going to break ground pretty soon, I believe.
Where is that, Glenn?
That'll be on Wells Farm Road, right next to 911, where the existing building is.
Oh, okay.
The other thing is the county is just approved an upgrade to the 911 phone system and adding 3, I believe, workstations to the 311 system. So the new 311 is the mental health line, and it's been overwhelmed over the last few years. So we're going to add 3 workstations to that. That was to the tune of almost $3 million. They bonded that. The other thing that's coming up is We just approved body cameras for all the sheriff's deputies and probation officers. So they will now have body cams that are, if you guys do, I hope you do the same cams that the county's doing, which the state police have, and 3 or 4 other agencies in the county have. So this allows for when one camera activates, they all activate.
Mm.
And it seems like it stops a lot of litigation. What else do we have around the county? We got sewer, sheriff's office. Any questions for me? I think that's all I have for now.
On that sewer one, that's county sewer district number 1.
County sewer district number.
So,
I don't know how many residents in the
yeah, I'd
town
like
of
to know
Chester
what,
are in that, but I know.
yeah, I'd like to know
Surrey
what
Meadows.
percentage of
believe so.
Boudin is in that District 1, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the percentage offhand. I just know it's a big number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're gonna look to use some of that federal money possibly. to use it.
Mhm.
I know the chairperson of the legislature is seeing if that's allowed with the federal money, which I believe it is, because it is a private, not a private district, but used by
Yeah.
a certain number of people.
Mhm.
We'll look into that. Hopefully some of that money can be used for that.
Yeah, yeah, that would be good. They took some big hits last year on our sewer districts.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, we
big-
squared up with the county last year for some like residual usages from the last like 10 years. Because there had been a question for years about, the county sharing information with Moodna on the flows and on the cost expenditures that the county was charging back to Moodna. We didn't agree with a lot of it because they were doing a lot of like clerical and different things like that, putting it on our sewer bill, I guess.
I know
So,
they'll be contacting the town and village soon because the sewer
yeah,
flows haven't been, they've been requesting, they haven't been turned in
they had,
last quarter maybe.
okay.
There's nothing for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the expansion.
It would be nice to get back on track with the county on that, though, with the sewer districts, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's myself and Pete Toohey from Monroe.
Okay.
They're kind of gonna
Yeah,
streamline this.
yeah, that would be good. It's been needed for a while. So,
I have one thing. And it's a bit of a pipe dream, but it also it speaks to something Tracy actually said earlier, and something that we said during the press conference that we had about the whole land preservation. I do want to start talking to other towns and other legislators, and I'm hoping that you can help talk to them about inviting officials from Albany down here to speak with us about the whole land preservation situation that we have here. The Orange County bill has been vetoed in the past, like we've stated. Chester and Blooming Grove, shenanigans happened with those. So if you can start talking to other legislators that about maybe trying to, just.
Is the county moving forward with that again to try to get the PDR, the transfer
As
tax?
far as I know, they do a resolution every year.
Every year.
As does the town of Chester and others.
Yeah, yeah.
I was just talking to Tracy, and I know with Mike Martucci coming into this district, we'll get on him and collectively, maybe the state will do something.
Yeah.
State level.
I also just want to, again, pipe dream, but I want to put the pressure on and just say, Governor Hochul, please come down here and talk to us. We'd love to invite you down and have you look at how great Orange County is and everything like that. But just talk to people.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Glenn.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have anything else? Let's start with our comments, I guess. Okay, Brandon, we'll start with you then.
Sure.
Town board comments?
Yeah. What's it called? Let's see. Yeah, I started like you guys were just talking about the Kings Highway thing. Like we discussed previously. Well, I think we talked about it once. I did start calling Democratic legislators about it, and I got in touch with a few, left messages with others. They seem open to the bill, so I will let you guys know about any updates with that in the future. I did get off the phone with the Palisades Park Commission and everything about the mattresses that were dumped, and they did send 2 park rangers out there to inspect the property. They do believe it's theirs. They're double checking, but I'm pretty sure it is theirs too. And they thought there was a barrier up there in the past, and I feel like I remember there being one years ago, but it's not there anymore, obviously. So they said yeah, they'll look into replacing it with another barrier or some boulders or something to make sure that doesn't happen again. The police department Easter egg hunt, I didn't know if it was going to be put in the reports, but I just wanted to say it's April 9th, right? Yeah, I just want the public to know that's coming up April 9th. We'll probably say that again at the next meeting. And then also with Anthony, the the resident that came in that we honored for cleaning up the mattresses. I spoke to the supervisor about this. We want to see, we know this happens all the time, good deeds like that from the public all the time, and we want to recognize all of it. So if you know somebody that's done something great, a good deed and everything, please let us know. We'd love to do the same thing for Anthony, that to somebody else in the community. So yeah, please let us know. And then the last thing would be the playground and dog park. We're planning a walk this Sunday, I believe.
Okay.
Is that correct?
I don't remember.
It's been a while. Yeah, so I think we're looking to look into that and walk the grounds this Sunday. So we will we'll talk about that. I think that's it for me.
All right, Cindy, what do you have?
Michelle and I have been worked out a vendor application for the farm market.
Okay.
I'd like everybody to look at it so we could kind of vote on it. And Scott's got a copy type thing if there's any irregularities, but we kind of spent quite a bit of time. We compared with other towns.
Okay.
So it's pretty complete, and this way, that we can put it out there for vendors to sign up. And her and I, we were going to do a mark out tomorrow, but with the snow, as to see how many spots we can actually fit in. So I think Michelle will have to get together. We'll do it early next week once the snow is gone. Okay, so it's pretty thorough. We talked about it, went back and forth. So, if everybody could look at it, and so we can have it for the next meeting. Also, of course, I put a lot of effort with the dead ends trying to get the attorney for the ward system. So I reached out to Scott to see if he had any suggestions, and he says that we should put out an RFP for it to see if anybody replies. And it's just not an easy thing to do because Blooming Grove, they themselves never got a complete ward system the way they wanted it as far as the years span. So, it's a little bit difficult, I guess. Also, the summer rec program, the signups are up. Michelle is taking, open for children to respond, although it's being contracted out, but it's, a worthwhile program, and it involves a lot more age group of children. So if people will, look at it and hopefully sign up to make it worthwhile.
I know there was some comments on social media about the rec program and how we didn't, put together the old rec program like we had it before. But when we did the budget in, October, November, at the time we were still in the heat of the, mask lockdown, the school. Still not letting the facilities be used, the gyms and whatnot that we would normally use for that program. And, so at that time we decided, we wouldn't do the
we wouldn't do it. We were losing money.
Yeah, we budgeted a certain amount of money for, alternate things, but we didn't go forward with that program because of the situation we were in.
Also with Park and Recreation, I've been playing pickleball with a couple residents from Chester, and they're requesting to have the park on Oak Street to line for pickleball. Doesn't need a net or anything of that. They just would like since we're going to be doing them in the at Chester Carpenter Field, to just go ahead and line that, couple. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's just like I say, just it's a real, it's a lot of people play. So also the senior trips are filling up. So if anybody wants to get on a bus or be at the senior center, they have to contact Michelle because they've been filling up quite regularly. And Michelle and I spoke this week. She looking into having a trip, some sort of day trip for kids. and the parents, not just for seniors. So, we'll find something for, in the coming months for that. Also, are we going to vote or do anything about the short-term Airbnb
We'll bring that up on the next agenda.
next meeting?
Yeah, we'll do an introduction.
Okay. And that's it. That's it.
Okay.
So just a question about, you mentioned an RFP, so is that something you want to take action on tonight? Or are you just gonna
You want to?
discuss it?
I would like to, yes, because, people voted on it. I've been trying since December to do something and I'm not getting very far ahead
So I
on
guess
it.
Cindy would like to make a motion to publish an RFP for legal services for the
To-
formation of the ward system.
Right.
Okay. Cindy, you,
Second?
okay, second?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Can't hurt,
I mean, it's slow going here.
can't hurt. Okay, Bob, what do you have?
Just a couple of things. So I talked a couple of meetings ago about I'm working on with Walter on the film festival. There was another Zoom meeting that took place. It sounds like we're all set to go. We're gonna put together one more meeting and then we'll have to schedule a press conference in regard to that.
Okay.
But we're gonna have a 3-day film festival in September, probably towards the end of it. Yeah, so
Okay.
there'll be more to come on that, but I think that'll be something that we could really start to build upon when we're talking about the theater and doing different things. So also today, I was with the supervisor this morning and we walked with John Riley, the Sugarloaf, the 1 mile stretch, just to make sure we were all on the same page for what we're all looking to do over there. So I know John was, I think they were fine after we all walked. I think we all were talking the same talk. So I also want to thank all the department heads for getting in the reports to the supervisor. I think the first meeting of the month, it's important that we do give an update to the public as to what's being worked on and what's going on and what's coming up. Also, I want to start, Brandon and I have been talking, I want to start to put together a small committee for the PDR. And what we're looking to do, what I'm looking to do, is really just have a small committee, a group of people, because I want to start working on budgeting this. You and I have talked, until we can get a sound, yes from Albany. I just don't want to keep kicking the same can down the road. So I want to start looking at the budget, let's putting some money away towards this. Financially, we're in a pretty good spot. So then I credit that to you, Bob, really for, having all the controls in place. So I really would like to start to work on that because I don't want to just keep talking about it. I actually want to, I want to take some action with it, get some money in the account and then we can just go from there. And then hopefully if we can get it someday, that'll be great. Then we'll be in a better spot.
So I guess you would work with you and Brandon to work together on that?
Yeah, we've been talking back and forth. I mean, in my vision, Brandon and I got to still sit and talk a little more. But I think this committee's, I don't think we have to reinvent anything. I think everything is there in place. I think we have to dust it off and just update it.
Yeah.
And then from there, if something becomes available, we're going to need, folks to be able to talk about what our PDR is. As an example, one task I'm thinking of is to say, okay, we're going to do this. So if we go bond money, we got to make sure we're educating the residents as to the why and all the positives, because I think that's important. I think we're going to have the right people on that committee to do that. So when Brandon and I will get together some more on that. So there'll be more to come on that. And then I want to start, since the weather's starting to clear up, I got work we've got to get done over the
You guys might
9/11
want to talk to
Memorial.
the county people who work on the county PDR stuff too.
Mhm.
You might want to reach out to them, maybe
Well,
have some insight,
Yeah, but we can. Okay. I was gonna say something. I'll take it. I'm not gonna say it. And the 9/11 memorial, we got to get work done over there. So I'm gonna start on, we got to get the towers reseamed. I'm struggling finding. I went back to the Kiwanis and we tried to find who did it. It seems like the person that built them worked for, I think it was Liberty Steel up in Liberty, New York, and it sounds like they must have did it, privately as opposed to that company because they have no recollection of it. And then we got to get all the bricks reset and whatnot. And I know Rich and I met out there in the fall. I'd like to do some lighting in the ground, come up onto those towers, just to really, bring it, and it's something we got to keep, all the time. I don't want to react to it in August, so it's something that's important to this community, and just want to get it all cleaned up and keep it that way. So, well, that's all I have.
Okay, Tony, you have anything down there on your end?
No, well, it's Saturday is the Sugarloaf Fire corned beef dinner. You guys don't get that. I got a question for Tom. With the Sugarloaf water, any place at all, if let's say the water becomes non-drinkable or contaminated, is there any kind of a warning system for the rest of the people who live in the area?
The warning system's built in the plant itself. So if there's an issue, the only issue with the E. coli well is that we ran out of chlorine. We have redundancy in that plant as far as 2 chloration systems. So if one fails, the second one kicks on. And then you have a phone dialer that alarms the operator that there's an issue at the plant. So again, that's where the truck comes in, where they're able to get the plant with a quick response. Anytime you have a chlorine loss, you want to get there as quickly as possible. So there's multiple things built in already that take care of that. So there's really no concern to the public of there being an issue with, something going out into the main that shouldn't. And if there is, there's going to be protocols to follow from the county health department that's going to dictate what the water operators in the town has to do as far as a warning to the residents if something like that takes place. So, that's a phone call. If the operator walks into a plant, he knows that unchlorinated water goes out in the plant. It's an automatic call to the county to set those protocols in action. And they can also take the action of flushing, the closest fire hydrant to the plant, because that's where the water, untreated water could possibly be, to eliminate that water from the system. Because you would backfeed from your tank at that point. So there's no early warning system that you're gonna have out there. There's no, signal warning like fire or anything like that, fire whistle or anything like that.
But even itself, the security of the building, because where I am over here on Wood Road, I usually see kids hanging out there right by the gate. Yeah.
Yeah, but you have the cable there, but they also have a fence around the facility itself. And so they shouldn't be able to get access into the facility unless they climb over the fence. And I think the fence may have barbed wire on top of it also. In most cases, like residential people can't put barbed wire on top of the fences, but this type of facility, and I know from past experience from working with the village, the police, unknown to us, but actually the police do make rounds at all water facilities as part of protection of our infrastructure.
What about putting like lighting? Because I think there's just one light bulb over there. We are over here.
Well, that's something we can look into.
Okay.
I know they have, I'm not even sure I think they have burglar alarms, so I'm not positive they have burglar alarms in that facility, but that would not be a bad idea either, and increased lighting. That's something to look at for all of our locations.
I think there is an alarm system. I'm not sure if it's a burglar. Like
Yeah, I know the alarm they have right now is, as far as I know, it's just a dialer and it dials them for emergencies in the plant. I think it would have to do with low level at the tank.
So no.
And also,
No
for the low
intrusion.
chlorine. That's, it's a fairly simple plant. There's not a lot to it.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Tom.
Can I, is there anything going on over at Belledale or anything you want to add or not really?
Pretty good. We have an open Saturday dinner, Saturday at 6:30.
Okay, great.
It was.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have one last thing, Bob, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I got and I forwarded this to the rest of the board and Linda to add into the minutes for tonight. I'll re-forward it because it was kind of a couple weeks ago. But Ed Lynch emailed me about public comment. I just wanted to read it for the record. I fully support your proposal to the board on scheduling public comments both at the front end and the back end of the meeting, it is only logical for the public to have input into the proceedings of the board meeting, and in particular, that those public comments be properly considered by our elected officials for any important decision making that our board is planning to vote on. That is democracy at its best. To do so otherwise just doesn't make any sense. Further, I support the idea of scheduling public comments both in the beginning of the meeting and at the end. This would give due consideration to public attendees who may not be able to attend an entire meeting and would like to offer comments at the beginning of a meeting. And as sometimes public attendees are commuters who may not arrive in time for the start of a board meeting, permitting public comment at the end of the meeting as well would afford them this opportunity as well. The more public comment, the better for elected officials to more effectively represent their constituents.
Thank you.
I'll re-forward that to you, Linda, so you can.
She's not back in town yet. I don't think. So, yeah, we'll do that though.
Okay.
That'll be on the next agenda.
Okay. All good.
All right. That being said,
I just had one more thing, Bob. Over at Sugarloaf, I'm talking to Tom Cusack. We discussed possibly doing some additional testing on the well with the bacteria. Testing that hasn't been done before was the PFAS testing. Because we don't have the PFAS and the E. coli go hand in hand, so that might, if we come up with those chemicals in the well, we might want to not go
try messing with it,
into
yeah.
doing anything to that well, you know, because
Yeah.
filtration for that would probably exceed the cost of it. I'm not sure if you want to include, I think it's between $600 and $700, I think, for that test.
Yeah.
I'm sure we have.
You guys, would someone like to make a motion to add that PFAS testing to the backup well at Sugarloaf?
Motion.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, get it done.
They hadn't done it. When they did the PFAS testing, they only did the primary well,
Mhm.
the secondary.
Okay. Can't hurt.
That way we know for sure whether it's there or not.
Absolutely. All right. That being said, motion to close the meeting.
I'll make the motion to close the meeting.
I'll second that. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming.